So you led me into a couple of quick topics that I think you'll like. So when I was deciding to do the Eye of the Storm 3 times a week, I already had been doing the Friday show, and we got enough material for a third show. But like I was saying, I was at a crossroads. I was like, I had to decide: do I do my sales kickoff and try to still just do the 2 shows or something? Or do I do the Badlands event? And I decided to turn in my 2-week notice and do the Badlands event. And I was like, I'm going to start a third show. And I was just speaking to the crowd at GART, the Badlands event, we call them GART, but and people are coming up to me saying, "You're going to do a third Eye of the Storm on Sundays?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's the plan." And I had not like every single person said, you have to start digging into the faith community. I said, well, that makes sense for Sunday. And we call it, so at GART, I had tons and tons of people say that's what you need to do. There's nobody really kind of playing that part of it. There's a bigger awakening besides doing decodes. There's a spiritual awakening. There's finding Jesus. There's doing all these things. And I'm like, that fits perfect for Sunday's show. Let's do it. So I came back to Absolute, and and by the way, there was like 5 pastors that were telling me this. All right, and they all gave me their cell phone numbers, and they want to help, and they do. I bounce things off of them. So I came back to talk to my co-host Absolute, and I said, I made the decision. I turned in my notice. We're going to do 3 shows a week, and we're going to start to include a faith part. We're gonna do our decodes and news and comms for the first half of the show. But the back half we'll just do what we're feeling to bounce off the community to lift faith. We try not to just make it like just one thing about just Christianity or anything. It's just that it's more we'll play music videos. We'll find inspirational speakers that have a spiritual lift about them. We do a lot of prep, and we try to figure out like a whole avenue of what that particular topic would be. So like right after like New Year's, we did a whole thing around renewal and rejuvenation and things like that. But kind of like what you're saying, that's been a real big. We've had people find Jesus. We've had people come to us and say, we've turned the black pill. We've turned away from Satanism. Some people have come to us. We've had people get baptized. There was a follower that lived about an hour and a half from me that said, hey, I'm getting baptized because in part to your show. And if Stormy can make it out, I'd love to have him. I went, and he was great. And I still talk to him. So those have been mind-blowing moments, and those are the kind of moments that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And it won't have anything to do about a particular decode. It will be the people that came to me and said, you helped me find Jesus. I mean, that's like amazing. Also, kind of like when you said about your music and things of that. So my New Year's resolution was to do shows like this that I haven't been out as guests really, but also to do little projects. So on Eye of the Storm, Rev DQ found somebody on Telegram that she writes like kind of spiritual poems. And we were showing them on the Sunday edition of the show. And Absolute, he's got a musical background before he was doing any of this too. So he knows how to like the rhythm of how to go through these poems that this woman is writing, these beautiful poems. And I said, the way you're reading those, what I'm hearing is like music lyrics. And I have another friend that helps me out with different things that he's got a musical background, but he's also got a whole team of like video editors and memers and digital. So what I decided to do was make a third project. So I'm taking the talents of the poetry writer, taking the talents of the music people and his team of video, and we've been doing music videos out of her poems. So we've turned them into song lyrics, and we've turned them into these beautiful mega videos. And we're sending them, we're playing them on the show, and she's seeing them. The woman who's writing the poems, and she's just like blubbering. She's writing these notes that she is so overwhelmed with joy that we're reaching so many people and taking her talents and just exploding them into a different venue where she says she puts it on her playlist and she plays our songs all day. So that's been a fun little checkbox for me for a New Year's resolution, to be able to come on shows like this, be able to incorporate and lift, just from like that one little story. And it starts with Rev DQ, because Rev DQ introduced me to the lady who writes the poems. I would have never have seen her Telegram channel. She has 300 followers on a Telegram channel, and I don't really follow that much on Telegram myself. I would have never seen it if Rev didn't scout it out and bring it to me. Okay. And then I wouldn't have had the idea if it wasn't for the way that Absolute was reading it. It was like his background, he was a musician, and he knows these things. He knows timing, he knows patterns, he knows how to do it. And his beautiful readings of these beautifully written things was like, this really needs to be a third project. Now, Absolute could do it, but he's got so much on his plate. He does 5-6 shows, something like that. But I got, these other communities that are just waiting to help. They were like, it makes a lot of, they're really grateful to be able to help and put their talents to use. And, my show does, between 100 to 200,000 views on every show. So it's like, it just lifts everybody. And for me, I call it being a point guard in sports. I feel like I'm good at recognizing talents, but I don't have the time. I don't have the time to make an app and make a music video and do all those things. And even to learn it, I don't even know how to do it, but I know people that do. So if I can mesh these different talents and produce a third thing that makes everybody, the audience has been loving them. And that has just been a fantastic journey so far. And we're going to do some more of them. She pumps them out like every day. So we got a lot of material.
That's cool. You're kind of the bridge, and you're connecting, coordinating things for. That's awesome. Because I always thought as a kid, isn't there a way to like make a living and help people? Like, can't we make this world better? And I think that's why when I started hearing about all this stuff in 2020, it's like, oh, that's why the world's so messed up, because it's literally evil. I mean, I thought that, a lot of the things in the Bible and the Satanism was just folklore. But when you start really realizing, holy shit, this is real, you start realizing.
And it's worse. And it's worse than we ever imagined when we were kids. It's worse.